the best unit of this update? Well, maybe, but most probably you've only heard that from someone else. In this video, we find out if Rose and Copperajah is as good as everyone says together. So with that said, strap on your seatbelts, sit tight, and let's begin this analysis video. Here we go! Yo yo yo, this is Sol, also known as Spiel Gamma, also known as Spatial Gamma, also known as Grunt, Yardi's Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX. In this video, we discuss the most awaited villain arc mastermind, Rose and Copperajah, and see what he offers to the table, you know? And a lot of people are excited about him, yes. Before we continue the video, we already know. You probably most already know that he has A.O.E attacks, his A.O.E sync moves, well, those are the given. But, you know, there are other sync pairs that can deal strong ground type attacks, strong rock type attacks, strong steel type attacks. How good is he anyway? Aside compared to those sync pairs. So before we begin, guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up right now, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm, as well as let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're scouting, if you're skipping, if you are waiting for showcase videos. And last but not the least, as usual, you don't forget to join the 10K giveaway. I have already replied to the people who have confirmed entries. So if you go back and check your comments, I have replied to official entries with a comment down there that says this counts as an official entry or something like that. If you do not see that, or if I do not reply, or I did not reply to your comment, that means you are not yet part of the giveaway. So the link to this giveaway is down in the comment section, or rather in the description of this video. Make sure you join because you only have until July 15 to join. If you are already joined, if you already have that official confirmed entry, you don't have to do anything. That just make sure you follow me on Twitter already. But if you haven't received my reply yet, that means I have not yet confirmed, or your entry probably is not considered an official entry. So make sure you watch the video and comment whatever needs to be commented on this video. Good luck, and may you win this and maybe those things and some other things as well. So with that out of the way, one more thing is that if you want to support me continue making these videos, my computer is in a need of an upgrade, so you can do share your blessings either in this page, Fundraiser Me, or my coffee page, which does not take any percentage of earnings or of your donations, compared to YouTube, which gets 30% of whatever you give. So go ahead, check this out if you want to help me, because I need to upgrade my computer as soon as possible because it's dying in a bit. In a few months, not in a bit. Please no, please don't die in a bit. So you can check this out. This video is gonna talk about the entire kit of Rose. And you might know Rose is a Pokefair. Rose has a 5 out of 5 grid. I'm going to talk about 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. But if you're only interested in getting one copy of Rose, you can check out my 1 out of 5 or none out of 5 video, where I will only discuss about his base kit. So that's about it. If you want to support me, again, you can also become a member of my channel, just like these awesome people up here. Thank you guys so much for your kindness and generosity. And a huge thank you as well goes to my gifters of my channel. Thank you guys for your support. And with that, we are done. We start off with a timeline. Okay, Rose comes 2 weeks after Liza, who came out yesterday. And if you scouted for Liza, I hope you did not scout for the original Liza and instead went for the summer Liza. She is a very, very strong, very good flying type sync pair. Very nice, very powerful. But Rose is also a very, very powerful sync pair. He is a steel type sync pair with rock type and steel type moves. And if you are considering scouting, worried about your gems, you can check out my how many gems you can get video for a list, for a count of how many gems you can get for the remainder of the month of July. So, if you see this background image, congratulations, you have successfully scouted for Rose and Copperajah. As I said, he has 3 different types of attacks. He has Iron Head, he has Stone Edge, High Horsepower. Iron Head, 30% chance of making the opponent flinch. Stone Edge, higher chance of critical attacks or critical hits, which you probably don't need to worry about this because actions not words. His trainer move will basically guarantee that your critical hit rate will go up +3. That means all your attacks are gonna be critical hits right after using his trainer move. High Horsepower is the ground type attack, which does not exactly do anything, no side effects or whatsoever. Iron Head is fun for flinching, Stone Edge is strong. And passive skills, well, before the passive skills, remember that he has a sync pair, a Pokemon that can Dynamax. And Copperajah Dynamaxes or Gigantamaxes into G-Max Copperajah, giving him 3 different max moves. G-Max Steel Surge will apply the steel damage field to the opponent's field of play. That means every single time the opponent attacks, they will receive a little bit of steel type damage, but not exactly that much, especially if you're using him in Champion Stadium. Don't expect the steel type damage or steel damage field damage to be strong at all. The opponents will find some way of having steel damage field damage reduction or something like that. Max Rockfall creates a sandstorm and Max Quake raises everyone's special defense +2. So, as I was saying earlier, he has a very interesting max move or passive skill. His passive skill basically makes all his attacks and all his max moves A.O.E. And A.O.E attacks normally go through some A.O.E penalty, which halves the damage of your original attack into divided by 2, 3 or something like that. It just cuts the damage. This passive skill allows you to hit all enemies with the same amount of damage without any penalty. Against 1 opponent, 2 opponents, or 3 opponents, it will not receive any sort of damage penalty. That means your Iron Head will hit everyone, your Stone Edge will hit everyone, your High Horsepower will hit everyone, your G-Max Steel Surge will hit everyone, your Max Rockfall will hit everyone, your Max Quake will hit everyone. And what does this also mean? If you use Iron Head, 30% chance of making everyone flinch, which is very fun. What's not fun is Hit the Gas 5 raises everything. You know, Iron Head is a 3-move gauge attack, Stone Edge is 3-move gauge, High Horsepower 3-move gauge as well. This makes them all 3 have 4-move gauges instead of the regular 3, which makes him slower. He has a pretty low speed stat at 239. So, in terms of move gauge management, you're probably gonna encounter a little bit of trouble here. But if you've already been using Cygnus with Giovanni, who also has 3 4-move gauge attacks, you probably know how to deal with this already. So, probably not a problem for you, but probably it's gonna be a problem for newer players who love to, you know, spam attacks. You will not be able to spam attacks using Rose and Copperajah until you get him to 5 copies, which we will discuss later. Last but not the least, you have Rose's Results as his passive skill. And what this does is that all your moves will never miss. So, if the opponent has a high evasiveness stat, no worries, you will never miss. This is a built-in piercing gaze to Rose's kit. Plus, it powers up your steel type moves. That means it powers up your Iron Head. In terms of G-Max Steel Surge, I am not sure. But I can tell you that this will power up your Iron Head, making it stronger for everyone because it hits everyone. So that's his base kit. Strong, can hit everyone. Very nice to have. But now let's look at his sync grid. 1 copy, you get actions not words MP refresh. I forgot to mention this. Actions not words maximizes your attack stat, maximizes your critical hit rate, gives you a physical moves up next effect. That means your next attack is going to be powered up by 40%. If I'm not mistaken, this will not apply to max moves. And also lowers your speed stat -2. That is not good. It slows you down, considering that you are already a slow sync pair. And actions not words MP refresh 2 just slows you down even more, which is not exactly a good thing. I'd rather have the speed rather than the physical moves up next effect +1. If it's +2, +3, probably I'll get this, but +1 only, 40%. I'd rather have the speed and not slow myself down even more. Sand Shelter, just in case you use G Max Rock or Max Rockfall, which creates a sandstorm, you will not receive damage from the sandstorm. 2 out of 5, you got some multipliers, you got double down 2 if the opponent is weak to steel type sync moves or steel type. Your sync move will do 20% stronger damage. Interference immunity, Iron Head move gauge refresh 9 every single time you use Iron Head. You recover 1 move gauge, which is okay because slow sync pair. Max super preparation, after you use your max move, you'll get a super effective up next effect, making your next attack or making your next sync move 1.5 times stronger. Sands of Time speeds up the move gauge when there's a sandstorm. Super duper effective, 1 stronger attacks when the opponent is weak to that particular type of attack. Sync freebie, free move next after you use your sync move. 3 out of 5 is where the multipliers, all the multipliers are. 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, I don't think you get any more multipliers. Furious Brawn, the higher your attack stat is, the stronger your attacks are. So your Iron Head, your whatchamacallit, your, let me just go back, your Stone Edge and your high horsepower. I always forget Stone Edge for some reason. Haymaker, the higher attack stat is, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. Again, these are easy to trigger because your trainer move instantly, actions not words, powers up your attack stat to +6. Instant maximum Furious Brawn, instant maximum Haymaker. Max countdown 1 lowers your sync move countdown -1 after you use your max move. Steel damage field on opponent's field of play, sync power up 5. That's the complete name of this skill. Sync damage field on opponent's field of play, sync power +5. Sync power up 5. So long. Anyway, if you use G-Max, Steel Surge on the opponent, you have the Steel Damage field on the opponent's field of play, your sync move will be powered up by 50%. Take note that the Steel Damage field is not permanent unless you play with, you know, the Champion Stadium parameter. Field effects are permanent. Also, you can, if I'm not mistaken, actually I have not tried this, but can you have more than 1 damage field on the opponent's field of play? I have not yet tried that. What do we have now? We have rock damage field. Do we have fire damage field? I think we do. I forgot who has it. Anyway, if you guys know if we can stack the damage fields, let me know, because that would be fun to know. If it's overwriting or does it just stack up. Surging Sand 3 powers up your moves, your attacks when there's a sandstorm. And then 3 out of 5 you get to power up your G-Max Steel Surge by 100, Max Rock Fall by 100, Max Quake by 100, and 2 sync move power-ups to a power +50. That is 3 out of 5. So all the multipliers you can get at 3 out of 5. If you got 3 copies, you can max out the multipliers. But again, as a Pokefair, Now you have a 4 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5 grid. Let's talk about 4 out of 5 defense crush 9. Every single time you attack an opponent, their defense stat goes down -1. And remember that all your attacks are AoE attacks, which means every single time you attack an opponent, every single time, all the opponent's defense stat goes down -1. Fun! Making him stronger because all his attacks are physical attacks. 4 out of 5 also get to power up your G-Max Steel Surge by another 100. Meaning, if you use G-Max Steel Surge on the opponent, a lot of times, you can one-shot the opponent, especially if you do not give them HP buffs, if you do not give them defense buffs on Champion Stadium. Just one G-Max Steel Surge, plus considering you have already used his trainer move, will most likely one-shot everyone, which is crazy. And at 5 out of 5, you got Impervious, so that your attack stat, your critical hit rate, and all your other stats which you have raised cannot be lowered if the opponent decides to lower it. And Steel Damage Field on opponent's field of play and hit. Free move next 9. What this does is basically, after you have the Steel Damage Field on the opponent's field of play, and you attack an opponent using your normal attacks, you'll get a free move next. And as earlier as I said, there's gonna be move gauge management issues with Rose and Copperajah because all his moves are 4 move gauges. If you have the Steel Damage Field of play and you attack an opponent, every single time you get a free move next, you can spam your attacks non-stop, which makes this fun, very fun to use. But 5 out of 5. Not a lot of people have enough, capabilities, gems, or candies to make this sync pair 5 out of 5. But maybe in the future, you're looking for a sync pair very strong to power up. You have 4 out of 5. Maybe consider doing this and make him even crazier and fun to use. So that's 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 for Rose and Copperajah. But as usual, it's not possible to get everything. So I got a lot of sync grid options over here. You can see this is my 3 out of 5. Let's start with 3 out of 5. Sync Nuke build. We have Haymaker over here. We have 2 sync move power-ups. We have Double Down 2 over here. We got the Steel Damage Field of Steel Damage Field opponents in the opponent's field of play. Sync power up 5. And we have a G-Max Steel Surge because you will need to use G-Max Steel Surge first before the Steel Damage Field on the opponent's field of play power up 5 will work. So this is my 3 out of 5 build for Rose and Copperajah. And if we actually look at the damage, now one of you told me that we should consider no sync buffs for the computation. So here you go. No sync buffs. You got 1,007,721 for your sync move. Considering this a sync nuke build, and if you 6-star EX him, haven't 6-star EX him yet, you'll be able to hit every single opponent using your sync move. So 1,100,385, but just in case you're wondering why is the damage so weak compared to before, well, here you go, with a sync buff +1, get 1,650,577. But let's just remove that and consider the one without the sync buff. And I'm mistaken because this is a steel type weakness. It has a, let's just change it to steel type weakness. Now it's 3 million. Sorry guys, sorry for the mistake earlier. 3,601,260. Considering you're gonna use G-Max Steel Surge first, it's 2,991,816 plus 3,601,260. That is the damage that you will deal on the opponent. 2,991 plus 3,601,260. Pretty strong. And now, this is a 5 out of 5 grid. We have Haymaker, We have Double Down 2. We have G-Max Steel Surge Power plus 100. We have Steel Damage Field Opponent's Field of Placing Power up 5. And another G-Max Steel Surge Power up 100 because that is available at 4 copies. 4 copies. So let's see how much damage this does instead. So the opponent's weak to Steel type attacks again. Let's swap this to Steel. Let's make him 6-star EX. Let's calculate this. Same, not exactly expecting a lot of increases over here. 3,601,000 earlier. This time it's 3,796,000 plus 3,688,156. That goes up to approximately 7.5 million, which makes him way stronger. 7.5 million for a striker. Plus, all your attacks are gonna be A.O.E, which makes this fun. Very fun to use. Now, another grid for him is the DPS grid. So we have Furious Brawn over here. We have Defense Crush 9. We have Super Duper Effective 1. And then we have Steel Damage Field on the opponent's field of play and hit free move next 9. We have Haymaker because it's the cheapest way in order to reach Furious Brawn. So every single time you attack an opponent when there's a Steel Damage Field on the opponent's field of play, you got a free move next. So this is, and every single time you attack the opponent, you lower their defense stat. By the way guys, earlier those computations are considering opponent's defense -6 already. So you have to have other sync pairs lower the opponent's defense stat. But this one can do it by himself. So if we calculate this, and the opponent's weak to Steel again, what we can get is a little bit less damage, 3,266,000 and 2,631,000. But free move next every single time. So you can spam your attacks, and considering the Steel type damage is 1,247,173 compared to the 900. Why is this not cooperating with me? Compared to the 908,000, this one does 1,247,173 on all opponents, which makes this very fun to use. Now, a lot of people compare Rose with Giovanni, Signature Giovanni. So I decided to make a computation for this one. So this is the same kit. This is the same multipliers, DPS build, but we power high horsepower instead of Iron Head. So we compute the damage. We have the opponent weak to ground type this time, and we make him 6-star EX, and the damage is 1,437,296. Now, Rose has a passive skill, Rose's Results, which power up his Steel type moves. This one will not power up ground type moves. So 1,437,296 A.O.E versus Signature Giovanni, which we got attack plus 20, super duper effective 2, max super preparation to get the super effective up next, still surging sand and mega kick. And if we compare the damage, this will only hit once with the super effective up next. Oh yeah guys, I forgot to remove this super effective up next effect. So if we actually remove this, I'm so sorry, this will become lower. So for the sync move, if we remove this, because, well, technically he can give himself super effective up next, but if we remove that, that goes down to 2,531,000, 2,258,000. And for the Steel type, or for the ground type move, it goes down to 958,197. For the Steel type move, if we remove that, it goes down to 831,448. For Giovanni, with that one super effective up next effect, it can go up to 1,851,271. After that, if we remove the super effective up next effect, it goes to 1,234,000, 1,234, 180. And if you compare that with Rose, 958,000, versus 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a considerable difference there. But remember that Giovanni, Signesuit Giovanni, is a single opponent attacker. And Rose is an AoE attacker. Plus, you have a max move, which max Quake 2,353,017 on one opponent versus 1,735,603 on all opponents, plus 958,197 and stuff like that. But probably you want to use Gmax Steel Surge only because you want to damage, you want to get that free move next effect to yourself to make yourself fun to use. So that's the damage. Giovanni deals more damage in terms of DPS, but Rose hits everyone. And that's your option, whichever you want. Probably it will not be a good idea to combine them both unless you have Ingo or unless you have the steel damage field on the opponent's field of play and hit free move next 9. So hard to say that. So yeah guys, that's that. And that's the end of this video. Actually, no, not yet. But those are the things that we want to talk about. Rose is very fun, very strong because of his AoE attacks. And Rose also has the highest HP stat, but the lowest defense, special defense, and speed stats. But stats are not everything. And he has so many multipliers. He can give himself Surging Sand 3, which we did not get. But we got Furious Brawn. Got super effective we got super duper effective 1. And in terms of the Sing moves, a lot also. And I think the Sing Nuke build is very fun to use, very easy to use. You have 2 consecutive strong AoE attacks. Use his trainer move. Probably use his Iron Head, hit everyone. Probably flinch everyone. Your next attack, again, trainer move. 1 Iron Head. 1 max move, G-Max Steel Surge. Then your sync move. Boom! Opponents probably dead early on. Probably just using your max move will kill all the opponents if you do not have any defense and HP buffs on the opponent. Probably gonna be a one-shot, probably not, but it's gonna be fun. And he's gonna be a strong sync pair. Good thing, very strong AoE attacks for everything he has, not just his max move, but also his normal moves. Bad thing, speed stat is pretty low unless you have him 5 copies, which is also a bad thing. Not a lot of people get 5 copies. Good thing, Villain Arc. You know, Rose has been around ever since Villain Arc came out. His image, his sprite has been there for the longest time, but finally Rose is available to us. Bad thing, next month, most likely, next month's Villain Arc units are gonna be much better than Rose because 4th anniversary. Every single update before the anniversary, they come up with great sync pairs. Only one time that the bait was not good, that's Lysander. But now Lysander is an amazing sync pair. And last year, if I'm not mistaken, what we got was Signesuit Steven, if I'm not mistaken, Deoxys. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm expecting Cinderace as next month's bait unit because Cinderace has so many good things. And I can assume that he can change his sync move as well, sync move type as well. So I'm assuming it's Cinderace, but I might be wrong. Hopefully it's Cinderace though, and probably, hopefully Signesuit Victor with a cool bunny-like outfit because I love Score Bunny. But yeah, that's that. Oleana is also a very good sync pair which we are gonna discuss in another video. But I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you enjoy this. But as always, tell me if you are going. Is he meta? Yes, he is. Kind of. He is meta. Faves. Well, if he's your fave, why not? If you're not worried about next month, go scout for him, you know? But yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Check out my 1 out of 5 or not out of 5 video if you don't care about 4 copies, 5 copies. Just want 1 copy of Rose. But we're done. We are done, guys. I'm gonna work on the other videos soon. But, you know, you can support the channel out again just by commenting, hitting the thumbs up. But if you want to become more generous, you can become a member of my channel just like these awesome people up here. Thank you guys for 2 years, Shadow, Phil, Alcin, Roy, Luca, Jeremy. Thank you for 1 year, Marokman, Ewiz, Tatsuya Gold. Thank you for Great Bolt Tier, Aurora, Espion, Agent 10 Splatoon, and Yuki, Premier Bolt Tier, Shido. Thank you for Pokeball Tier, Apsaras, Edward, and Can. Why is my webcam not disappearing? There you go. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. The artist Team Skull Grunt. I will see you soon. Rah!